Well, hi everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Southern Miss Sports Today with Coach Jay Hopson, presented by Bancorp South. Another football season about ready to get started here at the University of Southern Mississippi. And Hop, last year you kind of came in on a run a couple of days before signing date and really didn't have a lot of time to kind of relax, but now your second year with the program, got to feel pretty good though about what you're starting to build here at Southern Miss.
Again, I thought we finished strong last year. Our recruiting class was really a strong class. It's evident in our preseason practice. So we're excited about the future and just looking forward to this upcoming season.
This is a football team that's got a lot of seniors. There's, 24, 25 seniors, something like that. That's a good thing because you got a lot of guys, particularly defensively, that's got a lot of experience.
Yeah, we're especially out wide, we've got a lot of experience back at corner. That is a position I think we're deep. I think up front we've got a good blend of old and young. Our linebackers and our safeties. We have an old safety group, but a lot of them hadn't played a lot. But we certainly are young at linebacker, but an athletic crew. I think as far as speed and athleticism, I think in that safety and linebacker crew, you're seeing some guys there that can really run.
You and I have traveled a lot this summer, been a lot of different places, and I know the one question that always comes up has to do with quarterback. You lost the old veteran, Nick Mullins, who's right now in camp with the 49ers, but you got some good players, some talented guys kind of battling for that spot.
Yeah, we do. And Keon and Quadre and the addition of Marcelo, those three are the three that are in the mix for it. I've been really, I was really pleased with Keon last year. He was a young man that we knew would be a great football player, but we tried to redshirt him. And just as luck would have it, we weren't able to do that. So Key came in, I thought, and did some really good things late in the year. And it's been fun watching him grow and mature. Quadre, who missed last year, came in January and really had an impressive spring. He's continued to have an impressive fall. So it's a fun battle to watch. We'll make a decision here shortly. It's almost kickoff. And, we're excited about both of them. And Marcelo, the young man from Miami, Marcelo's come in and just done a tremendous job. He's got a lot of reps this summer. So we really feel like, John, we have three quarterbacks that are ready to play.
Do you like the fact now that NCAA allows you to be around the guys more, to meet with them, to go over things? Does that help?
I do. Well, I think everything is about making the sport better, and I think that makes the sport better. Anytime you're doing things that enhance the game of football and allow young men to get better, I'm all for it.
You guys finished the year a year ago with the win down in the Superdome in the New Orleans Bowl against Louisiana Lafayette. That's got to have given you a little momentum going into the spring and then into this season.
It was. I felt like we finished strong and played some really good football at the end of the year. So, that's what you want to do. You want to build on that, and you just want to keep climbing.
Golden Eagles getting ready to take on the Kentucky Wildcats at the Rock. That's just a couple of days away. We'll talk with Coach Hopson about Kentucky, and we'll talk with him more just a little bit later in the show about this year in Golden Eagle football.
Being from around, Southern Miss, I've always, been around the culture. And I think one thing that truly made me really pick Southern Miss was that my high school coach went to Southern Miss. And just seeing what Brett Favre was able to do coming out of Southern Miss and just how highly he spoke of Southern Miss. And so that was one thing. And also me being close to home. My family can come to every game. I can still eat those home-cooked meals that my mom cooked, the homemade biscuits and everything. So it was really, the best of both worlds. Growing up, I played football, basketball, baseball, and I ran track. Baseball, I was pretty good. I wasn't the best hitter, but I could definitely bunt and field and run the bases well. In basketball, I was actually pretty good. I played point guard, and actually in junior high, we did not lose a game, so we were pretty good. And in track, I actually ran summer track, and I went to the Junior Olympics twice. And one time I got third in the nation in the hurdles, and I ran track with high school my 8th grade year. But whenever I got to high school, really my family wanted me to just, kind of narrow what I wanted to play because, you can be a jack of all trades and a master of none. So I wanted to be a master at football, so I kind of just, honed my focus in on football, and that's what I did. Being at Oak Grove kind of prepared me for college. I grew up living with my mom, And my 9th grade year, I moved with my dad. And so that's just a whole different experience there. And, you know, me and my dad, we would work out at 5:15 in the morning. And then we would come home, take a shower, and go. Then I would go to school and work out, and didn't have football practice. So I'm kind of used to the long days. It was actually very cool to play at Oak Grove. I was surrounded by great coaches, Coach Barr, Brett Favre, so many coaches, Coach Kane, just, I could go on and on. Actually, you know, playing with Kirk and Taylor, since, you know, they're Southern Miss guys, I feel like that's one of the coolest things ever. Whenever they got drafted, I texted them and I was like, you know what, guys, congratulations. Like, I know that's a dream come true. And Lord willing, I'll be joining you, you know, in the professional league come April next year. My mom is a great influence. She's my #1 fan. I don't think she's ever missed any game that I've ever had in my life, honestly. She's been in every game. And if you're ever paying attention on the sideline, she's there. She has my jersey on. Yeah, she's a wonderful woman. Not only her, you know, my grandparents and everyone. My dad, he's a great influence. He really taught me how to truly, you know, play and love football. I remember whenever I was younger, I used to cry a lot, I guess, whenever I would be home without him, you know. And my stepmom, she would always play his football highlight, and that would be the only way to keep me from crying. And so, you know, younger, you know, having just loving to see him play. I remember I was like 5 years old. I told him, I was like, Daddy, whenever I get older, I'm gonna be better than you. And I've just been trying to do that. And, you know, he was a great player, played at Jackson State, went to the Senior Bowl and everything. So I have some big shoes to fill. When football is over, I want to really use my major. My major is business finance with an emphasis on real estate. So really work with my dad in real estate, buy more houses, you know, create residual income. And he just created a trucking company. So whenever I graduate, we're going to start the father and son trucking company. So it's really about, you know, just learning that. And, you know, Lord willing, being able to get direct contracts and just, you know, having the passive income, residual income in real estate and active income of trucking.
2nd and 10. Higgins in the shotgun. Takes a step, steps up, fires up the middle, intercepted by the Golden Eagles. That looks like Picasso. Nelson taking it back. Did he get in? I think he went out of bounds just shy of the goal line. Well, we're joined now by the defensive coordinator for the Golden Eagles, Coach Tony Pecoraro. He's in his 2nd year on our Golden Eagle football staff. And Peck, great to have you back for another year. Real quick, last year, when you look back at last year's defense, what did you like? What were some areas you felt like you got to get better?
You know, when we did our self-study at the end of the year, you know, we definitely felt like we did a lot of good things. You know, finished 15th in the country, I think, in total defense, which is, you know, a good thing. Finished 2nd in the country and actually 3rd downs. You know, definitely some things that we were proud of, but there was a lot of areas that we know we needed improvement on. And we really stressed those since the spring and also in camp. Areas like, you know, definitely in the compete zone, and, you know, making sure we're better there. If you don't give up points, you win football games. So, you know, no matter the situation, whether they drive down there or the ball's put there through a sudden change situation, we got to do a better job of holding them to field goals or less.
You guys, let's talk about the defensive line. The defensive line, a lot of depth up there, a lot of guys that have played with a few new parts here and there, but you got a lot of different combinations you can use up there on the defensive line. Yeah,
Coach Nick is really blessed. He's done a hell of a job with these guys, you know, just getting prepared. You know, I think Draper Riley is definitely a guy that's, you know, if you look at last year, when we played Kentucky, we lost Draper going into that game, and we didn't have any 300-pounders up front. You know, so now we got Draper, who's a 300-pounder. We got Delmon Landry, who's a 300-pounder. You got Rod Creighton, who actually has totally changed his look, you know, and then you got all of a sudden DeMario Smith, 280-pounder. So last year we didn't have anybody in that 280-pound range. Now this year we got about 4 or 5 guys, so that's going to be huge for us.
Talk about the linebackers on this ball club. You got a few guys back that have played, but some guys who maybe didn't get a lot of snaps, but that looks like, is what I've seen during the preseason, maybe one of the more improved units on the ball club.
Yeah, you know, Sherrod Ruff played a lot last year for us. He's done a heck of a job. He's very experienced.
And a great leader on the ball club.
Big-time leader on the ball club. And, you know, Jeremy Sankster's really had a really good spring and fall camp. And Booth has done a really outstanding job. I'm expecting big things out of him as well.
And when you look at the secondary, there's a lot of guys that have been here a lot of years playing football at Southern Miss. So talking about depth, boy, a lot of good guys back there in the secondary.
Yeah, very experienced. A lot of guys, like you said, who've been here a long time, 9 seniors. So they might not have the overall playing experience that you want, but they definitely have the experience as far as, knowing how we want it done. And I think they're a very talented group. Like 2 corners for sure. I've been here a long time with Cornell and Speedy. But, I think Team Moore is about to have a good year, and there's a couple others that I think are about to break out.
Without giving away any secrets, what do you want to see your defense do? How do you want them to be able to play this year?
I want them to play really physical football. And I want to play really assignment-strong football. We talked about not giving up the big play. That's a big focus of ours, to not give up the big play. Make them earn it. We understand they're on scholarship too. They're going to make plays. But as long as they're contested plays, that's the thing that we really want to see.
Peck, we appreciate it. Thanks for taking time out to visit with us here on the show. Looking forward to watching that nasty bunch defense this year.
Appreciate it, John.
All right, Coach Tony Pecoraro, the defensive coordinator for the Golden Eagles, sitting down and visiting with us. Great to have Tony with his 2nd year with our Golden Eagle football team.
I grew up with my grandparents in Biloxi, Bishop Nance, and my grandmother was Octavia Nance. He was a Pentecostal bishop and pretty much old school. Even back then in the 70s, he was old school. So we weren't allowed, my brother Tommy and I were not allowed to participate in the activities outside of school. Football, basketball. Now we would sneak in and try to get in it, but eventually he would find out and he would come get us, and we'd have to quit. So my dad lived over in D'Iberville. So having the conversation between my mom and my dad, who were divorced at the time, she asked us, could we come over and live with him in order for us to play ball, and he said yes. And so we made the move from Biloxi to D'Iberville during my 10th grade year, which I just played basketball, didn't play football. Really didn't have a big interest in playing football, to be honest with you. But I think it was my 11th grade year, I think it was my 10th grade year, during the spring ball. I said, okay, I'm gonna play football. Went out for spring ball, I broke my collarbone, and I'm like, this might not be the thing for me. But my dad was one of they had this principle, if you start something, you finish it. So it wasn't a matter of starting and then getting hurt, then quitting. You had to see it through. And then my junior year, of course, I went back out. And I think after 3 games, the 4th game, I broke the other collarbone. And at that point, I said, I'm done. I'm through with football, forget football. I'm just gonna go play basketball. Because at that point, when I broke my other collarbone, my season was done. So I just kind of got myself prepared to play basketball and run track. And, I was kind of telling everybody, I'm done with football, I'm playing, telling my friends. So it kind of got back to Coach Singleton, who was my high school coach, that I was not going to play. So he called me into his office and said, Reggie, I hear you. And of course, no, Coach, that's not true. I'm coming back out, So actually went back and everything kind of fell into place, with my senior year. We had a pretty good team at D'Iberville. We went undefeated. I think we gave up a total of 10 points the whole year on defense. which was defense led by Greg Kelly. And I was pretty much a spectator on defense, you know, but playing safety. Every once in a while I have to make a tackle or do whatever it is, but those guys had a pretty good handle on it and really played really well as a unit on both offense and defense. And so, you know, regarding everything in D'Iberville, you know, it's a matter of being at the right place at the right time, having the right people around you, a coach who believed in you. Even though I didn't necessarily, you know, still learning the game, you know, a game of football, let alone playing quarterback, still learning what to do, what not to do, learning how to do it, you know, those kind of things. And so he was a very good teacher. And I have the ultimate respect for Coach Singleton. You know, even to this day, I always have, always will, you know, with Coach Singleton, you know, at D'Iberville. So it was a great experience, you know, at D'Iberville.
And now we're joined here on Southern Miss Sports Today with Coach Jay Hopson by the offensive coordinator for the Golden Eagles, Shannon Dawson. Shannon in his second year here at Southern Miss. And Shannon, real quick, maybe a review of last year. When you look back on last year, what did you like out of the Golden Eagle offense? Where are some areas you felt like you had to work on?
Well, I mean, the one that really sticks out is turnovers. You know, we're sitting there, we're right at a, you know, top 20 offense in America. And we're 125 in turnovers or whatever. So, I mean, that's the difference between winning 7 games and winning 10, really. You know, I mean, you can't turn the ball over. And so we have to do a much better job hanging on to the one thing that's the most precious out there. So I thought overall offensively, I mean, we had a good bit of explosive plays, but they were only by a few people. You know, I think that, you know, we need to stretch the field a little more. We need to have a little more explosiveness on the back end of defenses. And so obviously Ito's Ito. You know, he's going to have his explosive plays, and we had a lot of explosive plays. We were actually very high ranked in explosive plays, but in my opinion, you know, we missed out on a lot of opportunities down the field. You know, we got to get faster and more explosive.
Well, but running backs, you mentioned Ito, you mentioned Tez Parks. Those are the two guys, but you got some young guys in that mix too back there, including guys like Colin Kilcrease.
Yeah. Colin's had a great camp, you know, and Colin's a kid that's gotten better and better every day since I've been here. And he's to the point right now, and Trell will tell you this too, we feel 100% confident putting that kid in the game. And he's going to play a lot for us this year, there's no doubt. He is as solid as they come, character-wise and on the field. Ito's Ito, great player. We just have to do a good job of finding creative ways to keep him involved in the offense. Tez, you know, everybody understands that Tez had an injury. Coming off that injury last year, he was probably 70 to 60% probably. Mentally, coming off an injury, he was probably a little less than that. Right now, he's ready to go. You know, I'm excited to see him on the field. And then T-Rod and Darius are two guys that, you know, in my opinion, extremely talented young football players, and so we're good. We're feeling good about ourselves there.
A lot of depth, it looks like, too, at wide receiver. You got you brought in and recruited some good weapons there to put in with some guys you had a year ago.
No doubt. We got Jordan back, you know, and then we added Trevor, we added Jalen, we added Bubba. You know, we've added a good group, and Quez was redshirted last year, so those receivers are really the group that where, look, you know, we got enough talent at receiver that you better not have an off day, you know. And so I'm excited about that group, to be honest with you. I think that they're going to be a very explosive group.
A few new faces in the offensive line with a couple of veterans, but Coach Eric Losey's come in. Looks like he's done a great job of getting those guys headed in the right direction.
There's no doubt. I mean, moving Devin was, I mean, we kind of knew that really leaving last year. Is, you know, Cam did a great job here for a long time, and the center is so important to everything we do offensively, communication-wise, and getting everybody on the same page. It was just a natural move for Devin with all that experience he had, with his mind and his skill sets, to move him there, and he's really flourished in that role. And so Arvin's done a great job coming in. You know, Ty's got a lot of games under his belt. Drake's got a lot of games under his belt. And so, I mean, we feel good about that group. I mean, we don't have unbelievable depth there, but I mean, the guys that we roll out there, I feel good about.
And two veteran guys at tight end in Julian Allen and Jason Washington.
No doubt. I mean, those guys are, you know, to me, you could roll the dice and just shake them up and throw them out there. Both of those guys are gonna go out there and work hard. You know, the good thing about both of those guys is they're not limited as far as they can make plays down the field, which that's the one thing I look for in that position is if you're just a guy that can only block, then you're not a huge threat to the defense. So getting those guys out and pass routes is important.
Real quick before we let you go, Kentucky in a couple of days, the season opener. Defensively, what do you see there? What do you expect from Kentucky?
You know, last year I thought they were young on defense coming into our game, and so they probably, I mean, if you ask those guys, they'd probably tell you the same thing. They probably made some young mistakes. You know, I think they're older now. Yeah, they feel better about themselves at linebacker. I think those guys played all year. Courtney did, and so I mean, I see a very athletic, very big group. You know, and I mean, if you watched their year last year, they were playing pretty good defense towards the end of the year. And so I mean, we obviously have our work cut out for us. We understand the challenge, and we'll be ready for it.
All right, Shannon, thanks always for the visit and the update on the Golden Eagle offense, and looking forward to a good year. It ought to be a lot of fun.
Appreciate it, brother.
All right, Shannon Dawson, the offensive coordinator for the Golden Eagles, giving us a quick look at the Golden Eagle offense.
Been thinking about it since I was a kid.
Mom would be so proud.
If I could do it for a living.
Using my mom's recipes to open up a cupcake shop.
For my daughter to go to vet school.
Singing karaoke in all 50 states.
Captaining my own shrimp boat.
Tell us what you dream about. With the right loan or savings plan, we can make it a reality, no matter how crazy.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Keeping you within reach of what matters most. We're Bancorp South, and we're right where you are.
You got me falling hard, sweet baby, got me falling hard for you. And still, I felt this way before, you know it's true. And still, you got me more and more. Oh, you got me falling hard.
Hey Southern Miss fans, it's Toby Barker, Mayor of Hattiesburg. Mickey Spagnola once wrote, if you're going to war and you get to choose first, choose Southern Mississippi. Always choose Southern Mississippi. Don't fight Southern Mississippi because no matter how hard you fight, those folks will fight harder. His words capture the character of our institution and our city. We here in Hattiesburg are writing a new story, one where we rise to our challenges with great excitement. One where we push our city to reach its potential, and most importantly, one where there's real partnership between the University of Southern Mississippi and the city of Hattiesburg. Southern Miss is vital to our city's success, from the quality of life it provides through athletics and the arts to the talent it cultivates in the classroom. We share a common destiny. Hattiesburg is proud to be Mississippi's college city, and we hope as we go forward you'll join us in supporting our Golden Eagles this season as they go to the top.
And once again, back on Southern Miss Sports Today with Coach Jay Hopson. And Hop, we've mentioned in the earlier segment when you're with us, opener's just a couple of days away against Kentucky Wildcats. Great feelings last year. You had to go up to Kentucky and were able to come from behind and beat that ball club. But it's a Kentucky team that went on to win 7 games last year, make it to the postseason. So looks like it's a better Kentucky team than the one you played a year ago.
Well, Kentucky has our utmost respect. We know we're going to be playing an excellent football team. That's just the reality of, you know, they've proven that last year, went to the Gator Bowl. You know, this is this year. Last year was last year. There's really nothing about last year that's going to be relevant to this year, and that's the reality of it. We've got to be ready to play. It's going to be a hard-fought football game. Looking forward to having a lot of fans in black and gold. Looking forward to a packed Eagle Walk. I always say it's a we journey, and that is, you know, what we do here at Southern Miss together. And just excited about the atmosphere of the game, and we know we have an excellent football team coming to town.
We talked a minute ago with Shannon Dawson about the offense, Tony Pecoraro about the defense, but haven't talked about the special teams. Lost a couple of guys in the special teams mix, but give us kind of a preview of Southern Miss special teams this year.
You know, we got Parker Schoenfield back. Parker's a young man that kicked really well for us last year, and he got hurt about week 7, week 8. I think it was around that Charlotte time he got hurt. Lost Parker. We lost Stephen Broccoli early, the first game of the season at Kentucky. So we really took a hit in our kicking game last year, especially toward the end. Thank God we had Tyler Sayers, and Tyler was our punter, kickoff guy. Tyler was doing every job known to man kicking. But this year, Parker's healthy, kicking the ball well. We signed Briggs Bourgeois. Briggs is a young man that has an extremely strong leg. Zach Everett is punting the ball well. It looks like, you know, we're still battling. It looks like Briggs will probably kick it off for us. Briggs and Zach are battling at that punting job. You know, Parker and Briggs are kind of battling at that place kicking job. But we have a couple other punters too that are in the mix. You know, Tyler's hit some good balls. So we're just evaluating them daily, but excited about the depth we have in our kicking game. Colin Mills is a young man that's snapping the ball extremely well. Duncan Sparks was a graduate that came in and is doing a great job snapping also, as well as Austin Keel. So we have some depth at snapper and kicker, which is a good feeling because we experienced that last year. You know, when you don't have a kicker, it's kind of tough. You know, it puts your offense in a hole when you can't get 3 points and, you know, you can't kick off. You're giving them the ball at the 40-yard line. So we're excited about our depth right now.
What about the return game? Who are some guys we'll see figure in there?
You know, last year, Alan Zay did a great job as our punt returner. He'll be back at punt returner. Quez Watkins is a young man, extremely talented athlete. And T-Rod Daniels, Tez Parks, those are guys that will handle our kickoff return duties. So a lot of speed, a lot of talent at the receiver, at the return position. So we feel good about those two spots.
I'm going to say, too, if the Golden Eagle fans, and we hope it's going to be a full house for Kentucky, I think if you come, you're going to really get excited if you're a fan about what you see, all the parts of this Golden Eagle team.
I'm excited just to watch these guys go out and play. Some guys that we haven't seen play before, some guys now that are getting their opportunity. It's their time to shine. So it's an exciting time, and we're just looking forward to watching these guys go play.
All right, Hop, we look forward to visiting with you throughout the football season. Looking forward to that one against Kentucky in a couple of days. Best of luck this year. Let's go out and get win number 1 on Saturday.
Thank you, Coxie.
All right, Coach Jay Hopson and the Golden Eagles against the Kentucky Wildcats on Saturday. That is a 3 o'clock ball game at the Rock. We need to have you there. Let's fill up the Rock as the Golden Eagles and the Wildcats meet on Saturday afternoon. Don't forget, on Monday nights, we're at Georgia Blue, the Golden Eagle Hotline with Coach Hopson, 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock at Georgia Blue every Monday night. We'll see you there. Come and talk a little Golden Eagle football with us on a Monday night. That'll do it. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next time. Another inside look into Golden Eagle football.